deal. Here's the bottom line. Harry and Meghan have become hate figures for much of Britain, never mind the British media, for two reasons. The first is James Baldwin's timeless quote. I imagine one of the reasons people cling to their hate so stubbornly is because they sense once hate is gone, they will be forced to deal with pain. And the second reason is that they gave the finger to Fleet Street. And Fleet Street won't accept that. I sometimes wonder whether, if my old man hadn't been made redundant by the Daily Telegraph, I would have been one of the people leading the line of attack on these two. Because when you've got Fleet Street in your blood, when you've got ink in your blood, any attempt to lead your life as if we're not in charge is greeted with absolute fury. Look at what happens if you dare to stand up to the British tabloid media. They will kick you round the room until you're bruised and bloodied, and quite possibly, in the case of the Duchess of Sussex, of course, contemplating the worst possible way out of that level of abuse and unkindness. And yet they carried on. They refused to buckle. They tried to play by the rules. They sought the kind of deal that royals have been securing through the ages in their dealings with Fleet Street. They tried to get a kind of a hiatus, a reprieve, a ceasefire, but they didn't. They didn't get it. The palace, for good or for ill, did not come in on behalf of Prince Harry and his wife and demand that the vampires of Fleet Street stop sucking their blood every morning. So they decided to do everything their own way. They decided to rewrite their own rulebook and live entirely by that. They decided that they would not dance to anybody's tune but their own. They are not perfect. They are not infallible. Some of the stuff they do is a little bit silly, but my goodness me, they're brave. Imagine that. Imagine growing up in that goldfish bowl and deciding that you're going to smash the glass and see whether or not you can survive. That's what they can never be forgiven for. And nobody understands this better than the Fleet Street machine that needs the royal family just as much as the royal family needs the Fleet Street machine. That relationship is not parasitic, as I used to think. It's symbiotic. There are lines that will never be crossed. And if the unexpected or the unprecedented happens, then the reaction will be negotiated. How can we possibly live in a land where the late Queen's second son, Andrew Windsor, is treated more gently and more quietly, calmly, insert whatever adverb you prefer, than her youngest grandson, or rather the King's youngest son, the current King's youngest son? How can we possibly live in a land where Andrew Windsor is talked of in the same breath as Prince Harry? Think about that for a minute. That's been done because of a deal, whether implicit or explicit, between the royal family and the Fourth Estate, the media, the newspapers.
Well said, James O'Brien. Let's not dance around it. This wasn't subtle, not even a little bit. The minute Meghan Sussex stepped into that world, the tone was already loading, just waiting to switch. Because let's be real, if Prince Harry had married some quiet, upper-class English perfect fit, we'd still be getting Blues anniversary specials and look at these fairy tale documentaries every year. Soft music, soft lighting, soft everything. But no, that's not what happened. We married the biracial American woman who had her own life, her own voice, her own opinions. Did not come in asking, how small do you want me to be? And that's when the energy got spicy. Not the fun spicy, but the weird kind. Because suddenly it wasn't just coverage, it was target practice. Everything became a problem. How she spoke, how she dressed, how Meghan breathed. Like, damn, is she allowed to blink, or is that too controversial? And people will try to act like, oh, it wasn't about race. Please, if you have to say that many times, something is off, because regular people clock patterns. You don't need a degree for that. You just watch. You notice how someone gets praised for something, and someone else does the same thing and gets dragged for it. You notice who gets grace and who gets criticism. Same action, different reaction. And that's what made this whole thing hit different for a lot of people, because it stopped feeling like celebrity gossip and started feeling like real life. It's that moment when you walk into a space and you can feel the rules changing for you. Nobody announces it, but you feel it. Be careful. Don't say too much. Don't stand up too hard. Meanwhile, someone else doing the exact same thing and getting applause. That's the game. And Meghan did not play it quietly. She did not shrink. She did not mute herself. She did not pretend everything was fine when it was not. And that made people uncomfortable, because now It's not just about her, it's about what she's reflecting back. And some folks don't like mirrors. They'd rather call you difficult than admit something is off in the room. So yes, the coverage got ugly, real ugly. But in trying so hard to tear her down, they kind of told on themselves loudly. From a street level view, this whole situation, since people are called with different, until that difference stops being convenient, people celebrate you as long as you stay in the lane they picked. Step out of it, now they label you too much. And honestly, that's not a Meghan problem, that's a system problem. And the more people see it, the harder it gets to pretend it's not there. Prince Harry and Meghan did not cause drama. They turned the lights on, and suddenly everybody's squinting like, wait, it's been this messy the whole time? Yes, it has, because the tabloids don't just report stories, they build them like Lego, piece by piece. Today it's a concern, tomorrow it's a pattern, next week it's a full-blown narrative. Rinse, repeat, boom, public opinion shaped. And for years, people kinda accepted it. But folks are now clocking it like, hold on, why do the same names keep getting dragged? Why do certain stories feel copy-paste to the new drama? Why does it feel coordinated? Because it is, not in some secret agent movie style way. Relax, but in a same sources, same angles, same agenda kind of way. And when Harry and Meghan said yes, this is happening, people got uncomfortable. Not because it was shocking, but because it made everything make sense. That's the part that hits a lot of people differently, because now it's not just about them. It's about you reading headlines differently. It's about you realizing, wait, have I been getting played a little? And nobody likes that feeling. So instead of saying, okay, maybe we should fix this, some people went, no, blame them. Classic deflection. Shoot the messenger so you don't have to deal with the message. But from a street level view, this whole thing is simple. If someone shows you how the system moves, don't get mad at them. Pay attention. Because the same way narratives are built about them, that machine doesn't just switch off. Today it's a duchess, tomorrow it's a celebrity, the next day it could be anybody getting dragged online for clicks. And the scariest part, it works. Unless people start questioning it. So yes, Harry and Meghan did not invent the problem. They just said it out loud. They exposed the system. And once something's been said out loud like that, good luck pretending you didn't hear it. Let's call it what it is. This is not a few bad headlines. This is a whole factory line. Same type of people in the room, same mindset, same blind spots. They act surprised when output looks the same every time. Like, bro, you cooked with the same ingredients. What did you expect? A miracle? And somehow Meghan Sussex became the group project. Every day, new angle, same energy. They write, repackage, repost. At that point, it's not journalism, it's content farming with attitude. Because let's be real, if even one person in those rooms said, hey, this is getting weird, half those headlines would have died in draft. But no, everybody nodded, hit publish, went for lunch. That's not an accident, that's alignment. And regular people can say that we are not dumb anymore. We've been in rooms like that before, where everyone agrees a little too fast, where nobody wants to be the one who says, this ain't right. So things just slide. Bad joke, slides. Bad comment, slides. Next thing you know, boom, full madness in print. And now when people push back, what do we get? Oops, regret the wording. Lessons have been learned. Have they though? Because if the same stuff keeps happening, then clearly nobody's learning. People are just getting better at apologizing. That's the part that's tired, not even shocking anymore, just predictable. And from a street level view, that it's different because it's the same energy people deal with every day. It's that workplace where nobody checks the boss, that group chat where things go too far and everyone laughs, that environment where silence becomes permission. Till one day it blows up, then suddenly everybody's like, wow, how did this happen? Come on, it happened because nobody stopped it early. So yes, this isn't just about the press, it's the double standards. If you're going to shape public opinion, you don't get to move reckless and then hide behind will do better. Do better before you hit publish. And for everyone watching this, stop letting things slide just because they are packaged nicely. Call it out, question it, don't just consume it. Because if nobody checks it, it keeps going. And we've seen how ugly that can get. Thank you so much guys for watching this podcast. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm your host Miles. I'll catch you in the next episode and goodbye.